still doing a significant amount of damage. We see a spire being built on the corner that is getting scouted by that Viking, so that Viking still being golden as far as the information, but you see a Thor being produced, which is really going to neutralize any sort of Mutalisk attack that could have happened. But again, and a couple roaches attacking the front door, a little bit too aggressively, and wow, there that Viking was worth like 500 minerals. Just seeing that expansion is going to put Redalert in a completely different mind frame. Let's see if he decides to lift off, move out. He has to realize, okay, at this stage there's not a lot of troops on the ground. I need to start taking a third, or I need to start getting aggressive here. I can't just sit back and expect to win this. Instead, actually putting down some factories, putting down a lot of factories to follow this up with maybe just all-out Thor production. Honestly, I don't think that works cost-wise, so probably a Thor Hellion support army. We'll have to see what he decides to do with that. I don't know that he really has the economy to run it. And Winhouse taking the gold expansion as well. Looks like a pre-igniter also being upgraded. Where is the pre-igniter being upgraded? At the tech lab on this factory. So I assume it's just going to be a heavy Hellion Thor army to follow this up, and it looks like and it's definitely going to be mech, whatever it is. And wow, another 6 o'clock location. I guess this is the stage where Winhouse was waiting for another counterattack, and was probably pumping a lot of larvae, and was thinking, and I like the persistent scouting by Winhouse, was thinking, well, okay, if you're not going to attack me, I am just going to take the map. I'm just going to take everything. And it looks like, yeah, it is in fact going to be Hellions, and also a tech lab. But the Mutalisk harass running up should be pretty easily repelled by both these turrets and these Thors. But at the very least, that was golden information. That Overlord's still just chilling there. He's like, what's up? Okay, now the Thor's waking up and deciding to go in with an attack. Also a Raven being produced just in case, perhaps burrowed. Well, you know, sometimes what can hurt against Thors in particular is the burrowed roach, so probably getting a little bit detection in that regard. Carapace 1, so being upgraded on the Spire, so a dedication to Mutalisks on, but I'm not sure that Winhouse is even going to need it, because wow, he's going to have a very strong economy very quickly, is having trouble spending all of his minerals right now just because he's so low on gas comparatively, is running off a lot of gas, but you can just see the economic tab comparison, and the Hellions have got to run out and get it done. I do like the decision to go a lot of Hellions after seeing just so much expansion, so much macro aggression on the opposite side from Winhouse, because those Hellions can run around, be those fast, annoying, pre-igniting units, and just burn to death all of these drones. And what that's going to force Winhouse to do is just sit back, defend his holdings, and it can open up essentially an attack opportunity if, this is what I'm talking about, you're just going to see them get annihilated. Looks like the Roach is actually right there on top of it, but still the damage is done. This base has more or less been neutralized just by 4 Hellions, and the more Hellions that come out, and that was just with 4, you can imagine if there was a big attack happening right there, same sort of situation. And all of a sudden it looks like just with that attack, Winhouse has fallen behind in the Harvester count, but still has a lot of bases, has a lot of territory to work with, and I'm kind of curious what this Overlord's doing in that upper right hand corner. It's not Overlord grouping time, so maybe we're going to see some tunneling. I don't know, perhaps down the line, I don't, you know, to go up, get that spot, put a tunnel behind the base in this darkness. There actually isn't any spotting right here. Zergling speed coming very late. Carapace 1 still upgrading. Gold expansion being taken in spine crawlers, so nice response to those Hellions, building a couple spine crawlers out in the field. But the thing is, those Hellions can even suicide pass and have a lot of success. This is a very heavy Thor medevac. I'm not sure what the medevac's doing there. Perhaps it's just for mobility, but Thor Hellion army. Medevac not really going to help a lot, because perhaps we're going to see some SCVs come off the line, and Winhouse is, well, going to be right there with the Mutalisks, but I don't think he's really going to be able to stop that with all of those Thors alongside. He's going to have to back out pretty quickly. So yeah, backing off now, it's almost running into a brick wall, but no, wow, Winhouse deciding to attack directly into it with these Mutalisks, and now needs to back out because of that point defense drone. Still a couple Marines underneath. But this is a very late third base, and honestly, if Redalert's thinking about playing a long-term macro game and feeling very defensive here, going for a planetary fortress rather than orbital command, I almost feel like this is too little too late, though. The entire bottom, basically half the map, is already in Winhouse's control. He's got an infestation pit. He does have an evolution chamber, getting some upgrades to perhaps get the upgrade advantage, and I really want to see, again, just a big tunnel worm right there, just blah, and just looks like level 1 is now being upgraded. But I feel like Winhouse is in a situation where what he can do is he can get that greater spire down the line by going hive. He can just go straight to Broodlord, and the way that essentially Redalert's been playing kind of defensively, and just by flat amounts of units, as long as he has enough units out on the ground. Looks like he has 25 Mutalisks, 12 roaches. Might not be enough to fight this off, actually. It's going to take a lot of micromanagement, a lot of pumping of troops right here to defend against this big army barreling down, and this is going to be a critical point in the match. Essentially, if Redalert can do some damage with this, he will probably end up winning the match in the series overall. However, if Winhouse can somehow defend against this huge army, he's going to be in a fantastic position, even losing one base. Tons of Zerglings crashing down, the Mutalisks running up as well, focusing on the Thors, ignoring the Hellions. The Hellions focusing on the Spine Crawler instead of going after the drones like they really needed to really have a successful attack here. And this is just a pile of madness right here. I'm going to hold Alt to pull it down so you can actually see what's happening. The Mutalisks destroying the Thors. Looks like there's some more. There were a couple Marauders mixed in as well, but the Hellions left over. But that is a quick replacement for Winhouse with just all of the hatcheries he's got. Very nice defense. Looks like the Hellions realizing, oh crap, I need to get something else done. Running to the 6 o'clock location, emptying that as well. But honestly, that was a nice play. It looks like some creep being laid out to delay some expansion there as well. But nevertheless, that is a quick replacement of Harvesters for Winhouse. And now a lot of Zerglings and a lot of Mutalisks heading out to, well, it's a planetary fortress. This is going to be a rejected attack and really shouldn't dedicate too much to this. But if you can pick down those turrets, actually just turn around, pick down the turrets, the turret! Okay, managing to get one turret. Let's see if he manages to get the second turret as well. Still some troops to the south, actually, so it's not all the Mutalisks in dedication. More Hellions running forward, and again, very heavy Hellion commitment here. No additional Harvesters have been produced, though, at any of these locations, so they're just running into empty bases. I guess there's just enough of a windfall, basically, 153 units, actually, and just nothing but Zerglings spawning. This is really the match right here. Redalert, if he ends up losing this base, and let's see if the Mutalisks fly in and take out the rest of this. He's got a batch of Mutalisks, so you just fly in, he'd probably be able to take this out. If he can take out this base, Redalert is done. He's not going to have the economy to really keep up. He was so late on taking this third base. Looks like now starting to move out with Thors. He is going to be able to defend it, but it's still one of those positions where, and wow, okay, now the Mutalisks coming in, but just way too late. But it's still in a position where, okay, natural expansion, a little bit thin, main mined out, no longer even mining there, but you look at just Overlords hanging out in the middle of space for who knows what reason. They were just sighting there, where essentially you can replenish this gold expansion, you can replenish a lot more. These Mutalisks are in the air to help defend it. We do see a greater spire just morphing, so you're going to see the Broodlords out in the field, and the Broodlords are devastating to try to deal with, and a lot of resources in the bank to help with that. I don't see any direct anti-air-to-air production there. Excuse me, voice going out for a second there. There is a Viking up, but that is one Viking, and honestly 2 Mutalisks and even fewer would be able to handle that. So as soon as we see some Broodlords in production here, another base being taken, a lot of drones now at the 6 o'clock. Actually, really what he needs to do is maybe hop on that gas, although it looks like he is a little bit more mineral costed than anything else for whatever reason. But still a couple Overlords just running up to kind of check the composition. I just assumed to check the composition. He's going to see the one Viking in the air and just cackle to himself, perhaps, think, ah ha 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 ha, I can start producing a huge amount of, it looks like Corruptors actually, I can start producing a huge amount of Broodlords, and it looks like the Broodlords are now coming from the Corruptors, and the Broodlords plus the, oh, are they going to be in time though? A big Hellion army, oh, and it's backing off, killing that Overlord, and that actually is devastating for Redalert. That was his one chance to try to build, to really come back. Once these Broodlords come out, I honestly don't think he's really going to be able to defend anything at all. There's the Nidus network, yes! So we are going to see maybe a Nidus drop in the back of his base momentarily here, but looks like, yeah, seeing the Broodlords, that's always devastating. The Mutalisks and these Broodlords should be fine, honestly, against this. They need to be focus fired down by the Thors. The Thor's not in the best position to try and engage this, and still some Zerglings could be produced. Looks like they're going to try to dash in, but even if this is the thing, even if it comes down to elimination match, Winhouse has so much territory right here and so many resources that I feel like he's really going to be sitting pretty through this. He is losing some Broodlords, still some troops in that Nidus network, some Roaches coming off the line to try to cope with these Hellions. I got to give it to Redalert. He's doing a fantastic job of just creating havoc though, and as far as just the infantry, it's just up to Winhouse to kind of gather up the attack. There's a bunch of Roaches just spawning all over the place. I don't even know where they came from. I'm going to hold Alt again so we can get a better look at this battle. But wow, those Thors now taken care of. We do have we do have a Nidus network that's waiting to just unload, and again, I would just want to see it unload here and devastate everything up there. Hellions flying all over the map, just absolutely crushing the economy though in the meantime, so it's not over yet. 48 Harvesters, which is not a lot to try to deal with 5 bases. Here we go, Overlord moving up. Let's wait for the net. Oh, come on, build it. You're there. Thank you. Yes, Nidus Worm in the back. Nothing to spot it. No army to speak of. Looks like Thor's completely out of position. Even if they are on position, this is a lot of troop to kind of counter and run up and attack this, and the Broodlords alone could probably take that out. So now the Nidus Worm has lifted. It's breached. Oh, this is going to be beautiful, and we're probably going to see another Nidus network, another Nidus Worm, I should say, landing, and the Zerglings killed rather rapidly, but these Roaches going to do more damage. The Thor is having to back off. You're going to see a huge Broodlord counterattack across that third base. Even if they take these Nidus Worms out, this is a complete distraction. Looks like the Mutalisk diving in. These Thors probably going to get taken out as well, and that is a huge amount of Roaches. There's GG from Redalert, and it is official. Redalert has fallen to Winhouse. There's apparently a lot of trash talk. I'm not sure if I mentioned that in this commentary, but yeah, a lot of trash talk that happened. So Winhouse proves it. I mean, he talks the talk and walks the walks. Again, special thanks to Cy Starcraft. Polygon Review, going to have an interview with him. Should be up tomorroor. Somewhere, check Twitter, his website. Yoha Rocks, thanks to Bivort, and videogamevoters.org. Videogamevoters.org, everybody. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you for listening. Yeah.